Revised Good Manufacturing Practices Standards. Why in news? Recently, the Government of India has directed all pharmaceutical companies to implement the Revised Good Manufacturing Practices (GMP), bringing their processes at par with global standards. Larger companies with a turnover of over 250 crore rupees have been asked to implement the changes within 6 months, while medium and small-scale enterprises with turnover of less than 250 crore rupees have been asked to do so within a year. What are good manufacturing practices, GMP? About GMP is a system for ensuring that products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards. It is designed to minimize the risks involved in any pharmaceutical production that cannot be eliminated through testing the final product. The main risks: unexpected contamination of products, causing damage to health or even death. Incorrect labels on containers, which could mean that patients receive the wrong medicine. Insufficient or too much active ingredient, resulting in ineffective treatment or adverse effects. WHO, World Health Organization, has established detailed guidelines for GMP. Many countries have formulated their own requirements for GMP based on WHO GMP. Others have harmonized their requirements, for example in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, in the European Union and through the Pharmaceutical Inspection Convention. The GMP system was first incorporated in India in 1988 in Schedule M of the Drugs and Cosmetics Rules, 1945, and the last amendment was done in June 2005. GMP standards are now part of the revised Schedule M. What are the major changes in revised GMP guidelines? Pharmaceutical Quality System and Risk Management. The new guidelines introduce a pharmaceutical quality system, which emphasizes the establishment of a comprehensive quality management system throughout the manufacturing process. Companies are now required to implement quality risk management practices to identify potential risks to the quality of their products and take appropriate preventive measures. Also, regular quality reviews of all products are mandated to ensure consistency in quality and processes. Stability studies. Companies are now required to conduct stability studies based on climate conditions. This involves maintaining drugs in stability chambers at specified temperatures and humidity levels to assess their stability over time. Additionally, accelerated stability tests may be conducted to assess the product's stability under accelerated conditions. GMP-related computerized systems. The new guidelines emphasize the use of computerized systems to manage GMP-related processes. These systems are designed to prevent data tampering, unauthorized access, and omission of data. They also automatically record all steps and checks to ensure adherence to processes without any tampering. Investigational products for clinical trials. The new Schedule M also lists out the requirements for additional types of products, including biological products, agents with radioactive ingredients, or plant-derived products. The new guidelines lay out requirements for investigational products being manufactured for clinical trials. This ensures that the products used in clinical trials meet the necessary quality and safety standards. What is the need for revised GMP guidelines? Alignment with global standards. Implementation of the new norms will bring the Indian industry on par with global standards. Incidents of contamination. There have been a string of incidents where other countries have reported alleged contamination in India-manufactured syrups, eye drops, and eye ointments. The deaths of 70 children in the Gambia, 18 children in Uzbekistan, 3 persons in the United States, and 6 deaths in Cameroon have been linked to these products. Deficiencies in current practices. Risk-based inspection found numerous deficiencies in 162 manufacturing units in India. Deficiencies include inadequate testing of raw materials, lack of product quality review, infrastructure issues, and missing qualified professionals. There are only 2,000 of the 10,500 drug manufacturing units in India at present that meet global standards, being GMP certified. The improved standards will ensure that pharmaceutical companies follow standard processes, quality control measures, and do not cut corners, improving the quality of medicines available in India as well as sold in the global market. Confidence to regulators from other countries. Instituting the same quality across the industry will give confidence to regulators from other countries. In addition, it will improve the quality of drugs in the domestic markets. Most of the 8,500 manufacturing units that are not GMP certified supply medicine within India. Way forward. India's move to implement revised GMP guidelines signifies a significant step toward achieving global quality standards in the pharmaceutical industry. The revised standards aim to enhance quality control measures, proper documentation, and IT support, thus ensuring the production of high-quality medicines in India and for the global market. India implements import restrictions on laptops, computers, and their components. Why in news? Recently, India's Directorate General of Foreign Trade, DGFT, has announced that from 1st November 2023, it will restrict the import of laptops, computers, and their components, focusing on items under Harmonized System of Nomenclature, HSN, Code 8471. Restriction shall not be applicable to imports under baggage rules. Note: data processing machines are classified under HSN Code 8471. What are the reasons for imposing import restrictions on electronic devices? These restrictions aim to boost domestic manufacturing, reduce reliance on foreign imports, particularly imports from China, and enhance self-reliance in India's technology sector. It aligns with government efforts to strengthen domestic production through the Revitalized Production-Linked Incentive (PLI) scheme for IT hardware. The restrictions aim to prevent the entry of electronic hardware with potential security vulnerabilities that could compromise sensitive personal and enterprise data. By restricting imports, the government aims to create a conducive environment for indigenous manufacturers to expand their global footprint. How will this restriction affect the market and consumers? The import restrictions on laptops and related devices may lead to disruptions in the supply chain, potentially affecting the availability of certain laptop models in the market. The policy will likely create a supply crunch in the short term, as importers will have to apply for licenses and wait for approvals. This could lead to higher prices and lower availability of laptops, tablets, personal computers, and servers in the market. Domestic manufacturers might benefit from the restrictions, as consumers might turn to locally produced laptops if imports become limited. The restrictions could incentivize the development of domestic laptop manufacturing capabilities, eventually leading to more advanced and competitive products. The policy will also affect the existing players in the laptop market, such as Dell, HP, Lenovo, Acer, Asus, and Apple, who have been importing most of their products from China, Vietnam, Taiwan, and other countries. They will have to either shift their production to India or source from local manufacturers who meet the quality standards. The policy will also create opportunities for new entrants and local manufacturers who can leverage the PLI scheme and offer competitive products at affordable prices. What is the Harmonized System of Nomenclature? The HSN is a system that assigns a unique code to every product that is traded internationally. The HSN code is used by customs authorities around the world to identify and assess tariffs on imported goods. It is also used by traders and exporters to declare their goods and comply with the rules of origin. The HSN code was developed by the World Customs Organization, WCO, in 1988 and is updated every 5 years. Directorate General of Foreign Trade, DGFT. DGFT is a government body under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry that implements the country's foreign trade policy. DGFT was established in 1991 as a successor to the Chief Controller of Imports and Exports, CCI&E. DGFT is headed by the Director General of Foreign Trade at the headquarters in New Delhi and regional offices across the country. DGFT regulates and promotes foreign trade through various schemes and measures, such as issuing licenses, authorizations, certificates, incentives, etc. DGFT also provides guidance and assistance to exporters and importers, and coordinates with other ministries, departments, agencies, and stakeholders on trade-related issues. Genetic diversity in the Indian population. Why in news? Recently, a study by Institute for Human Genetics, University of California, has found stark genetic differences between people from different regions of the Indian subcontinent. What is the methodology of the study? The researchers collected DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, from around 5,000 individuals, mainly people from across India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. This cohort also contained DNA from some Malay, Tibetan, and other South Asian communities. They performed whole genome sequencing to identify all the instances where the DNA either showed a change, was missing, or had additional base pairs, or letters. What are the key findings of the study? Endogamous practices. There is little mixing between individuals from different communities in the Indian subcontinent. Endogamous practices, such as caste-based, region-based, and consanguineous, closed relatives, marriages, contributed to conserved genetic patterns at the community level. In an ideal scenario, there would have been random mating in a population, leading to greater genetic diversity and lower frequency of variants, which are linked to disorders. Regional trend. Compared to a relatively outbred population, like that of Taiwan, the South Asian cohort, and within it, the South Indian and Pakistani subgroups showed a higher frequency of homozygous genotypes, possibly due to cultural factors. Humans typically have 2 copies of each gene. When an individual has 2 copies of the same variant, it is called a homozygous genotype. Most genetic variants linked to major disorders are recessive in nature and exert their effect only when present in 2 copies. Having different variants, i.e. being heterozygous, is usually protective. The South Indian and Pakistani subgroups were estimated to have a high degree of inbreeding, while the Bengali subgroup showed significantly lower inbreeding. Not only did the South Asian cohort have a higher number of variants that could disrupt the functioning of genes, there were also unique variants that were not found in European individuals. Risk of higher frequency of homozygous variants. The presence of rare homozygous variants increased the risk of disorders like cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancers, and mental disorders. What are the other studies on genetic diversity? In 2009, a study in Nature Genetics by the group of Kumarasamy Thandiraj at the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, Hyderabad, revealed that a small group of Indians are prone to cardiac failure at relatively young ages. The DNA of such individuals lacked 25 base pairs in a gene crucial for the rhythmic beating of the heart. Scientists call it a 25 base pair deletion. This deletion was unique to the Indian population and, barring a few groups in Southeast Asia, was not found elsewhere. This deletion arose around 30,000 years ago, shortly after people began settling in the subcontinent, and affects roughly 4% of the Indian population today. Identifying such genetic novelties helps understand population-specific health risks and vulnerabilities. What is the significance of such studies on genetic diversity? Studies have shown that specific genetic novelties are linked to the health of India's populace. Understanding these genetic variations can lead to better interventions for major health concerns. Conducting genetic studies within the country can protect vulnerable communities from potential exploitation by multinational companies and foreign research organizations. What is the importance of a detailed map of the Indian genome? India's incredible diversity necessitates a detailed map of the Indian genome for various reasons, including economic, matrimonial, and geographical factors. Such a map can aid in understanding the genetic basis of health disparities and guide population health interventions. UPSC Civil Services Examination, Previous Year Questions, PYQs,